Hello and welcome to Sanlando Soundwaves. I'm Jerry Evans, and this is Week 5, Day 21. We begin today's lessons on page 36. Listen to these words from the 3rd chapter of Genesis, verses 1 to 5. Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord had made. He said to the woman, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say, 'You must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die.'" "You certainly will not die," the serpent said to the woman, "for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." Will you reflect with me on these 7 questions regarding these verses? What does this passage say? What did this passage mean to its original audience? What does this passage tell us about God? What does this passage tell us about humanity? What does this passage demand of me? How does this passage change the way I relate to people? And what does this passage prompt me to pray to God? Now let's read this brief devotional regarding these verses. Satan, in the form of a serpent, appeared on the scene in Genesis 3. His question to the woman reveals that he intended to cause the man and woman to doubt God's word and God's goodness. Clearly, Satan's first question was based on mistruth. God actually said that they could eat of every tree of the garden except one. The woman's reply also contains error. God did not say that they should not touch the fruit of that tree, only that they were not to eat it. The serpent then continued to undermine God's word by declaring that Adam and Eve had nothing to worry about by disobeying God. In fact, he told them that by eating the fruit they would become like God, knowing good and evil. But that was not God's design. He created image bearers to depend on him. He set the standard for what was good and evil, expecting them to live by faith, to listen to his word, trust him, and obey. Sadly, they didn't, and neither do we. Thank you for joining us today, and please turn in tomorrow as we continue our study of Genesis.